Hello, it's Melinda from Alexis and Melinda's Art Place. Just coming on. Oh, excuse my croaky voice. Sounds like I got a frog into my throat. I can't even talk today. Coming on with another art journal page. This wasn't one for a mission. This wasn't one for anything. I just decided to sit down and play. So I'm working my altered novel. So you can see I've just put a bit of masking tape down the spine. This prevents any glue and paint from seeping through to other pages, and also makes the book a bit more sturdy. So you can just see the collection of papers I was flipping through. I went into my scrap box and pulled out blues and green jelly prints. If you don't know what a jelly print is, it's basically a jelly plate is what you make jelly prints on, and it's just a surface you roll paint out on, and then you make marks in it. You can put stencils on it, you can put your finger and make wavy marks in it, all sorts of fun stuff. And then you put your paper on top and you can take a print of it. So my daughter and I love to jelly plate, and we have seriously probably 2 foot high of papers. Yes, seriously, 2 foot high papers that we have jelly printed, and it's time to do something with them apart from make them, put them in the box and stare at them. So I picked out a lot of these ones. These are a lot of first prints or wipe off sheets in blues and greens, just wanted a background. I didn't really know what I was doing, but I felt like sticking stuff to other stuff. Isn't that what art journaling? Journaling. Oh my God, what was my voice today? Art journaling is all about taking paper and sticking it to other paper. So just using my new favourite. Oh my God, I'm in love with this stuff. Liquitex matte media. I managed to pick up some a little while ago at Spotlight on clearance for $10 for that little tub. It's not a big tub. I can't see it on my desk. It's hiding. It's usually always on my desk. That's weird. Oh no, it's hiding behind the computer. It was $10 and it's only 237 mils, so it's not that cheap in Australia. Like $10. I think that's supposed to be about $20, that size bottle, but they were getting rid of it for some reason. So I usually don't buy Liquitex, so I thought I'd give it a try, and oh my God, I'm in love. It's so much better than Mod Podge. It's so much smoother. It's a real matte when it dries. It doesn't have any gloss to it. I find some of the matte Mod Podges even still have a bit of a shine to them. But it's like a real more of a liquid, and it's just, yes, my new favourite product. And I wish I could find some more cheap when I use up all my other stuff. This year it's all about using up stuff. So I've got a fair bit of Mod Podge and stuff that I've stockpiled when it's been cheap, which I'll continue still to do, but at the moment I've got too much to go find some more cheap stuff. So nearly finished the page, just randomly adding the blues and greens, not really thinking about what I'm going to do, just wanted to cover the background. And this is a good way to use up the gel prints as well. I'm just tearing them all into sizes. Then I come across these stickers, these letter stickers. I'm going through a lot of old boxes at the moment and just pulling out stuff that's really old and near its end of its life. So these stickers were no longer stickers. They were just cut pieces of paper. They were no longer sticky. I believe they were from Typo, a Typo sticker pad quite a while ago. So as you can see, I've cut out some of the letters because I used the negative and the positive piece of them in a layout or in an art journal page quite a while ago. So I decided to use some of them up, and I decided to just pick out some of the letters. I'm sorry, it's not on screen when I'm picking them out. They're a bit tedious to pull out because they weren't sticky. I had to get the insides out of like the D's and the E's, and that proved a bit fiddly. Just wanting to lighten up a bit of the darker areas, so the dark blues and the greens on the page, and using the matte liquid jacks. Oh my God! Seriously, I should start this voiceover over. Liquitex matte medium to adhere the stickers, both putting it underneath and on top, because as I said, they weren't stickers anymore, they were just paper cutouts. What I did is I used all the letters, they were just random letters on this page, and then like, you know when you get a cheap set of stickers, you get the stickers on the page and then you get like the background as well. So when you peel the background off, it's got like all the letters missing from it. I actually took that and just stuck that to another art journal page, which that's sort of a jumping off point for me to do something with next time. So I will show that to you soon. So you don't need to waste anything in if you're a scrapbooker or a card maker, you can actually put a lot of those wasty bits aside for art journaling, which is really cool. Because like the waste of a background sticker is really cool in the background of an art journal page or a canvas or lots of different things like that. So you can sort of see there the white letters are the letters that are missing, and the blue, that was very quick, and the blue is like the sticker background. Actually, if I remember, I will put a photograph of the page that I've got at the end of the video, because I haven't done anything with it yet, just to show you what I was talking about. So moving on, I found these couple of bird stickers. They're from Kaisercraft. I don't know what the range was. Again, it's pretty old, probably 3 or 4 years old. A lot of these things that I'm finding, I'm putting in a couple of boxes, and they're like scrappy bits, and they're our go-to box for bits and pieces when we want to do an art journal page for my daughter and myself. So I decided I had a couple of strips of material in there that again were just leftovers from other projects. So I cut them into even smaller strips because the birds needed something to stand on instead of floating in midair. So I think that was some sort of sample I picked up at this store in Melbourne that is called Reverse Garbage or Reverse Cycle. No, I think it's called Reverse Garbage, and they go around to a lot of factories and stuff and pick up their seconds and things like that. So I put some glue, liquid I can't say that. Liquid Tex Matte Medium. Say that 20 times. Under the stickers as well, because the stickers were a little bit old. I wanted them to actually stay on the page. So then I decided the branches needed some leaves. So I'm not really good at cutting leaves out. So I took my 3/4 of an inch circle punch and punched out a circle from some bright papers, and then sort of cut the either side of the circle and cut sort of a third of the circle off each side. So I was left with the middle third, which formed sort of a leaf shape. I'm sorry I didn't do that a bit slower to show you. So I'm just off punching and making some leaves. I was going to do a big flourish of leaves, and doing these, even just a couple, took me a while. So I gave up after a few. I sort of put a few on each of the branches. I wanted the pop. I like the pop of colour. I'll put some stills at the end of this video as well, which is what I've started doing with my art journal pages, because it's really hard to see the detail when you're this far away. So just adding some more little flowers and bits. I didn't know where this scrapbook page, this art journal page was going when I first started. I just was in the mood to play one night, so just decided to go through my scrap box and see what I can use up. So I think all these bright papers I'm using are actually from a pad from Aldi, like 18 months ago. Not their recent range that came out a couple of weeks ago, but their 4 ranges they had come out probably 18 months ago. Bright Larry papers I probably don't use on my own. Like in my scrapbooking, they were fairly bright, but they work in this context because you're only using small slivers of them. I used a lot of the other pad in my daughter's birthday party a couple of years ago. The kids loved all the bright colours. And it's nice thin paper, the outer paper, for collaging as well, because it is that thinner paper, it doesn't add much bulk. This one's actually spray paint on a piece of cardstock that I found in my stash and put in my bits box. So this year my philosophy is to use up all my bits and pieces, use up all my old stuff, and get organised. So we're now into, will be the 1st of June next week. And I'm not organised. I'm getting things together to get organised. So I am putting a lot of scraps of the bits and pieces into boxes, so they're the first places we look for stuff. Oh, what is it with yawning today? Seriously, I don't yawn until I do a YouTube video. And then I've got another box of all sort of printouts from the computer or photocopies of stuff of like focal points, so we can go through there and we don't have to go through the other box, which is all like background papers. So here I decided that the background of the birds were to too close to each other. So the background and the birds, they weren't really standing out. So I decided to take some, I think that was Liquitex gesso. It's quite a thin gesso. Oh, really? Yawning. I don't know when I can do videos. It's not late at night. It's like 7 o'clock in the evening. So I decided I wanted to lighten up the background, and it does look a lot lighter in the picture in the movie here as opposed to the real life picture that I'm looking at. So I put the gesso on. That little book there is just a collection of junk mail that I put excess paint in, excess gesso, and eventually it will become another little art journaling book. So I like it now. It sort of pushed the background into the background, which is really nice, and sort of lightened it up a bit. So giving that a good old dry. Now I'm sort of going, what am I going to do? So I find some, what do I find? The box I've got off to the left-hand side is the box of bits. So I find these half-used pack of rub-ons. These are not the best rub-ons. They were on clearance from Lincraft quite a while ago, and I thought I'll grab some. They were down to like $1 a set, but they're not very good. They don't rub on. They're very old. I do manage to get a few of them on this layout, but it does take a lot. You'll see a lot of effort in a moment trying to rub the board. What I like to do with my rub-ons is actually cut them out into single pieces away from the sheet so that I don't accidentally rub something else on, and also you can place them there and see if they work. As you can see, the table is rocking like anything. It's taking me quite a lot of pressure to actually get the rub-ons on, which shouldn't happen. Hence why they're old and I'm trying to use them up. So I used these on a art journal page about 3 years ago. There was a big nest on the page and some other birdie things, so I thought it'd be time to use them up. I tend to do that. I tend to use a product on one journal page or one scrapbook page and then put the rest in a pile and just never go back to it. So I'm trying to force myself to revisit things and just use up the rest of, it could be a quarter of a packet of things or half a packet of things, and have them all in a spot where my daughter and I can use them. So just adding a few, I think that was a feather up on the top, top below the bird, or top above the bird, I'm sorry. So there's 3 eggs on the bottom right hand corner, there's a nest, and there's a couple of feathers on, there's another set of 3 eggs I put on the left hand side of the page. Not sure whether I like the rub-ons at the bottom of the page. I don't know whether they really go, but they're on there. I'm happy with the layout. Happy with how it turned out. I was going to put a quote on it, but I decided against it. I didn't know what quote to put on it, so I left it. That's the easiest way to do things. If you're not sure, just don't do it. I was umming and ahhing about a quote, and I was going to go on Pinterest and find one, and then I just didn't. I may go back and add one eventually. Well, you see a sneak peek of another art journal page as I'm cutting off the end bits. So as you can see, I don't work in order in my book. Working in a recycled book or even any sketchbook with wet mediums, it's best to work some at the front, some at the back, some at the middle, and sort of work all over the place. Otherwise your book does fall apart. And this book has fallen apart, this altered journal. I've got another video on my experiences working in altered books. So just drying that up. And then what do I do next? I filmed this quite a while ago. I'm catching up doing voiceovers and things when I've got some time in my day. So this is a fine liner applicator bottle. So it's got a fine tip on it, and you mix it up with paint and water. You can even put glue in them as well, which a lot of people do on YouTube. And it's got a pin in the lid so it does not clog, which is great. So I decided to do like a sketchy border. I just felt the page needed sort of grounding and needed sort of an edge. So that's a great way of doing an edge. You just sort of do a scribbly border. And then I felt the birds just needed to pop a little bit more, so I just go and outline them with the black marker. This, I think I'm looking for something to do for a title and I don't find it. So I decide not to do it. Just fixing a few of the little leaves that started to come up, so just fixing that with my fingers. Or am I putting gesso on? Hang on. I don't know what I was putting on then. Could have been gesso. Because I didn't get in between the leaves. It was one of the two. It's really hard to see when I'm editing videos. It's a really small screen, so it's about, the screen you look at in the program I work with is about a quarter of the size of your laptop. And for someone with low vision and distance vision problems, that's really, really hard to deal with. I'd rather it be the full size, but I haven't worked out how to do that yet. So just bringing in a water-based texter. I think this is a really, really old one. Used for embossing and things, or heat embossing, but I decided just to outline the birds and make them stand out a bit more. Thank you for watching, just giving it a bit of a dry off, and I will put some stills at the end of the video for you, and I'll put a still of using the alphabet negative on that other page I was talking about as well. Thanks for watching, bye for now.